YouTube, welcome to the channel. I'm Chris. Very exciting day. Today is a special vlog because I'm going to the Scott Snyder signing at Midtown Comics. He's going to be signing copies of Absolute Batman number 15. Really, all you have to do is buy the book at the store and he can really sign anything. 3-item limit. I've gone to one of these signings. I went to the first Absolute Batman signing they had with Nick Dragotta and Scott Snyder. That one was insane, but I think that one was in October, so it wasn't as cold. Now this one's in December. It's New York City. So I'm a little worried about that, waiting in the cold because of Midtown Comics downtown. They have you wait in this like alleyway, which is cool when it's not super cold. But hey, exciting. Scott Snyder, one of the biggest books of the year. I'm glad I got to read this a little bit early. Hopefully I get a little moment to kind of talk to them. I'm going to try to film, but the reality is when you're vlogging and trying to talk to someone and sort of be genuine and all that kind of stuff, it gets lost. So I'm going to try, but I'm still getting used to recording myself in public and other people. So getting used to that. Let me know how I do. But yeah, let's go to the signing. Today what I'm reading is Batman, the Court of Owls in compact format. Living in New York, traveling, I take the train. I don't have a driver's license, so I always try to keep a book, whether it be a comic book, especially these compact formats, or a manga with me to read. And being that I'm going to see Scott Snyder, it's only right that I got Batman Court of Owls from him and Greg Capullo. This is really sort of what put Scott Snyder in sort of like the upper echelon of all-time Batman writers. One of the all-time great Batman runs and stories. So, and I think it really laid the groundwork for what he's doing with Absolute Batman. So it's easily one of the like books you could recommend to anyone, especially since it's the new 52. It was the start of a new kind of like timeline, despite the fact that when you read this, all the Robins are in it and stuff like that. So there is some continuity stuff. But I think, especially with the holidays, this is a great book that you could get for anyone. That's $10. And I've read it like 3-4 times. There's things, especially with Greg Capullo's art, that I appreciate more and more. And also reading Absolute Batman, there's things about sort of what Scott Snyder has to say about Gotham and Batman that you're seeing sort of play out in Absolute Batman as well, which is really cool to kind of see how those ideas have evolved. So Batman, Court of Owls, check it out. So spoiler alert, I did not get my book signed. Look at this line. Like by the time I got there, they were ready to cap it. And honestly, I saw this line and I'm like, I'm not waiting in this cold. There is no way I'm gonna wait. So I still went to the shop to kind of check it out and see what was going on inside. As soon as you walk in, they had a bunch of Scott Snyder books, trades that you could buy to get signed outside of the Absolute Batman 15. It was funny walking in because like literally 2 minutes in, the clerks were like, by the way, the Scott Snyder line is capped now. And it's just funny because they kept yelling it, but I can kind of appreciate them being like, hey, if you're in here for that, that's over with. The cool thing about Midtown Comics is that when they do signings, they do get the artist or the creator to sign a bunch of stock for the stores and the website. So pretty soon they'll be at the store, so I'll still be able to get an Absolute Batman 15 signed by Scott Snyder, just not today. Supergirl trailer dropped today, so it was cool to see Midtown have the book front and center. I haven't finished this. Honestly, the narration was a little bit too much, but I did love the art. And I'm hoping the movie's good. I'm rooting for the DCU. There's my son having fun in the back issue bins. McFarlane's been killing it with these Marvel statues. Like, I've been meaning to get one, and I really need to pull the trigger. Like, look at this New Mutants 98 Deadpool. One of the all-time great Batman covers. For years, I've been eyeing these absolute editions of Swamp Thing. I think it's probably one of my grails when it comes to collected editions. This is where I will not be meeting Scott Snyder, but for the lucky fans that waited in the cold, they'll be seeing it. The Energon universe makes me want to buy G.I. Joe's figures. Like, Destro from Dan Waters is one of my favorite miniseries of the last few years.
Yeah, so that's the no, I was just posting it. So just contact them at like North Carolina yeah, but yeah, that doesn't strike us. Money without integrating. But some people it ranges. Okay. Yeah, as far as I know, personal items. What's the plan? Marvel celebration. Yeah, signed by
So as I'm walking the line to kind of film, I run into my boy Esteban, which is dope. I haven't seen him in a while, and he had a bunch of cool stuff to get signed. Then I introduced Esteban to my boy Izzyverse, who also has a YouTube channel. After I said my goodbyes, I walked over to the Oculus. If you are in NYC, always know where the bathrooms are. So I had to take my son to the bathroom, but with that, we went to check out Pop Mart, which to him is the Lil Boo Boo store. I want this pillow so bad, but I told myself I would be good until Christmas. I'm back with no book signed. As you saw in the vlog, it was super busy, insane, but I'm not mad. You know, I think it's New York City, it's cold, it's Midtown Comics, it's Scott Snyder, it's Batman. So arriving there and seeing the long line, yes, it was disappointing, but like I can't be mad. Like, you know, I know like this is the absolute Joker, like it was gonna be insane. What I didn't expect was that like it legit was longer than the absolute Batman #1 signing, which I do have my copy of absolute Batman #1 first printing signed by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta here. And it's just crazy that this book still has so much energy and so much momentum. Great thing about New York is that when you're like, oh, let me go to a place that's pretty popular, you're bound to run into someone you know, which is cool about New York Comic Con, cool about signings like this. I ran into two friends, Esteban and Izzyverse. Izzyverse is also a comic book content creator, so check them out. So it was cool to see them, and it's particularly with Izzy, we were talking about sort of like how Absolute Batman has shot up in value recently and how suspicious that looks. But again, cool to see the energy. The shop was like filled with people that, you know, maybe weren't into comics, or maybe they stepped away from comics for a little bit, but because of the gravitational pull of Absolute Batman, you got all these people, and it didn't look like a line of people that were just like there to resell things and all that. Like my boy Esteban literally had a poster. Then some of the first people in line had like fan art and all this kind of stuff. So it's just real genuine enthusiasm and hype for Absolute Batman in the Absolute universe, which is great. And it's just cool to see, like, even though I didn't get my book signed and stuff like that, I kind of almost see it as a win because it was freezing. And Midtown Comics downtown is by the seaport, and it's just way colder downtown than the actual Midtown Comics in like Times Square and stuff like that. So I've never waited on a line for that store in the winter. And I don't know even if I got a ticket for it and waited the line. I don't know if I could have waited, you know, those couple hours. Even though I did have some friends in line, and I could have probably been like, hey, I got my ticket. Can I like hang out with you and stuff? But still, it's insane the amount of people that showed out despite it being super cold. And it tells you that the book, 15 issues in, is still garnering a lot of hype. It's still a great book. And Scott, Nick Dragotta, and some of the other artists that have filled in have been really telling a all-time classic Batman story that I'm gonna, like, this is not signed now, but I'm going to get it signed. Like, I'm gonna find Scott Snyder at a con, whether it be New York Comic Con or another Midtown Comic signing that I won't get late to and stuff like that. So exciting, like I said, disappointed that I didn't get it signed. Not mad because, hey, it's Midtown Comics, it's New York, it's Scott Snyder. So unless you're like there like 5 hours early, you can't be too mad. Like I literally showed up like an hour and a half before the signing was set to start. So like, honestly, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And I could have made it. They were still like maybe like 1 or 2 tickets that they were giving out and stuff like that. But I saw the line and I was like, immediately no. Immediately no. But what do you guys think? Did you guys love Absolute Batman number 15? Let me know what you think of the series as a whole. And if you liked the vlog, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Peace.